What's up, guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. So I figured today, since I get asked this question all the time of how I fit 37s with minimal lift, I figured this would be a great time to do a little walk around video and show you guys kind of what I did, since I'm doing a tire rotation and it's a little bit easier to see the stuff and film it. So let's go ahead and start with the passenger side here. One of the big things that you need to do with these Tacomas to get them to clear 37s with the IFS with not a lot of lift is you have to tub the cab. It's quite a bit of work. There's a lot of sheet metal in there, so you'll have to do a bunch of different cutting. That is exactly what I did here, is cut it way back as far as I could to this bolt so I could still attach the fender and fender flare. And then I just plated it and filled in the gap where it was missing material. You can see I tubbed it all the way back here, made cuts here and all along here, and just kind of folded it in. You also need to trim the body mount. Back when I did this, I was planning on plating this and boxing that back in, but I cut it and it's been working since, so I haven't worried about it. It's a little janky, but it gets the job done. For the fender flare, you don't have to do too much cutting, just have to get these corners right here on the back. You got to cut that quite a ways, pretty much right up to the bolt line, and then cut the edge of the fender flare here. These are OEM factory fender flares. That was one of the looks I was trying to retain, so I just did minimal trimming down here with what I needed. Still need to put an extra clip back in that. And then on the front, you only have to do minimal trimming up on the front corner of both the fender flare and fender on the inside. And then this plastic piece, the shroud type deal on the inside, you got to trim that. That'll end up rubbing and it's kind of a weird shape. And then on the front bumper, what I did is just lopped it off here. When I originally did this, I wasn't too sure how much I needed to cut, so as you can see, I went a little bit further than what I probably needed to do, and it doesn't look the greatest, but it works and gets the job done. For the driver's side, it is the same thing as the passenger side. I do need to do a little bit more trimming here, it looks like, because I've been contacting the fender, kind of bending that. But that is the same for the front and back on side to side. Another thing I did for this to get it to not rub as much up top here is I added some washers beneath the front and rear bump stops on the control arms. So that limits it from going up too far and contacting the top of the fenders. All right, moving on to the inside of the cab, I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like with the kicker panels put into place. Since I did end up tubbing the cab, that comes in quite a ways, and I had to trim the kicker panels there so they would fit around it. And I'll go ahead and take those off and show you guys what it looks like underneath. Okay, so don't mind the mess, it's a little bit dirty in here. It's been a while since this was all open. But you can see there kind of where I made the kit or the cuts, and then I filled that in with a sealant that comes up quite a ways. There was a lot of trimming of that bracket right there that I had to do to be able to get the kicker panel to fit. But that's about how it's trimmed, and it's pretty much the same on each side. On the back here, you don't have to do too awful much with it. You just need to trim this front corner as well as the back. I'd say about 12 inches or so on the back and close to the same on the front. Not too much there. I just went snug up against this bolt so it still had a way to attach to the bed and the fender flare. And then same on the back there. Trimmed both the bed as well as the outside fender flare. And then for the bump stop, I just got some tubing and just tacked that into place. It's kind of last minute before a trip, but it's been working since, so I've left it that way. As you can see, there's not a crazy amount of up travel right there, and that is simply so I can keep this thing a lot lower and then not have the tire coming in contact with the fender and bending that all up. So, as far as fitting 37s on a first-gen Tacoma with the OEM fender flares, it is not that terrible to do. Your biggest task is going to be tubbing the cab and getting the body mount trimmed up. The fender flares and that type of stuff is not too terrible. You're only trimming the edges, so that works pretty smooth. Everything seems to work well on this. I have minor rubbing with it. Extending the bump stops helped quite a bit. Well, hopefully this video will help some of you guys that are wanting to make the jump to 37s from 35s or whatever you're running. It is not too terrible to do and is definitely worth the time to do it. I enjoy the 37s quite a bit and they fit very well on this and I like the looks of it. So drop a comment down below what you think of the Tacoma so far. If you have any other questions on what I did to fit these, I should have covered everything in this video, but if not, let me know down in the comments down below. Stay tuned for more Tacoma content coming soon, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.